Hello and welcome to the 6 Months to Six Figures series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. I'm here with Brad, and today's episode, we're going to talk about opening bottlenecks, which I know is vague, but we're going to dig into it, and you got to watch the episode to find out what that even means and how much of a teaser is that even. So yeah, I'm here with Brad, and this is the 6 Months to Six Figures series where basically we follow Brad as he grows from early stages to ideally earning six figures within the next 6 months. Not that he'll earn six figures within 6 months, but he'll get to the $8,333 a month revenue that will be six figures. Challenge is to see how quickly we can get Brad to that 8333. So if you're watching this and you want to get coaching just like this, you can join the DYF Accelerator community to get that coaching. The link for that is dyf.link/DYFA. So let's jump in. Brad, you said you wanted to talk about bottlenecks, opening them. Let's check in real quick on last week if we could. So I had it down that last week you wanted to make a hypothetical service offering just like in bullet point form and then choose someone to do it for. How did that go?
That didn't go super well. I have done it. I found a proposal template site that kind of nailed the service offering. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think I can model that. But this was quite a challenge. I've been trying to think through it all week. And it's just really challenging. I just have such little experience like packaging and pricing and stuff. It's like I hear people say like, oh yeah, you got to charge a lot of money and all this stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't see it. I just don't know how to do this yet. I just haven't done it.
Well, we can dissect that a bit today. So would you say that the thing that got the most in your way with it was just not really, it wasn't so much that because you mentioned the bottleneck thing. So I'm trying to determine on my side, is the reason you didn't do it because you just didn't know what to do? Or is it because you probably could have figured it out, but client work kind of took over your schedule, you didn't have the time? What would you attribute the reason to?
It's that I feel I don't know what to do in this area. It's very vague. I feel like I need to go watch 50 different people talk about the offers that they do so that I can actually know what this actually looks like. I did ask ChatGPT and it gave me a pretty good starting point. And then I Googled and I found this template site for proposals. You might know it. It's called Better Proposals. It's very slick. And I was like, wow, this is actually kind of perfect. It's pretty close. The ChatGPT was pretty close and the Better Proposals was pretty close. But yeah, I really just I don't have any examples to go off. I haven't been living in this world, Yeah.
Yeah. And in the new blueprint version that I'm working on, I'm going to have a bit more step-by-step for developing it. The flow that I think makes the most sense, I think where it's really challenging is if you try to just create a super polished thing out of nothing. What I am trying to get you to do is essentially reverse engineering an outcome. To me, that's ultimately what a productized service offering is. It's just saying you can pay me however many dollars for a certain outcome. So in the example of, let's say you wanted to help a course creator create their first course, your package would be the done for you course package. And so the outcome is you get a course. And then the bullet points that delineate the what goes into it, those would be the things that you're doing to get them that result. And in the case of you get a course, that would actually be quite involved, because is it just you get the videos? Is it get the videos and the strategy? Is it the videos plus the strategy plus the fulfillment, i.e. the website and the cart? That's a pretty bloated kind of thing. But nonetheless, reverse engineering an outcome. So we've talked about a lot of things, and maybe we can just today map it out together. But if you want to talk about the bottleneck thing, we can, but probably mapping out a service offering together, I think will probably take most of the session. So if you were to isolate the big thing you want to leave today with, what would that be, you reckon?
Well, I would say the offer creation would be something that I'm kind of avoiding because I don't know how to do it. So I guess that would probably be a better use of the time
Okay.
to get your help with.
So before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about how things, like how the day-to-day is looking. So you had that one client who you could be maxing out the affiliate outreach stuff for. Have you been doing that? Where's the
No.
time been going? Okay.
I spent this week had a tough week personally. A friend of mine is going through some pretty hard stuff, and it just kind of threw me off. But yeah, I found it really hard to want to do the stuff. So I learned about how to get better at the stuff instead. So I studied affiliate program managing, and so I don't know. I guess I leveled up my skills and understanding of that, but I just haven't done the actual work yet.
Okay. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I had a couple days this week that I was struggling quite a lot with depression, and instead of trying to force myself to do I'm right now working on all the blueprint curriculum stuff, which is kind of requires me to be pretty on. And I was like, dude, you're not going to do that today. How about you just edit some videos, or like you just do something that is kind of more energetically matched and still at least moves you forward. I think I maybe did some Thrive cart setup that I've been putting off, where I wrote some code because coding is fun for me. And I think that's what research is for you. It's like the thing that it moves you forward, but it's also the thing you like. So I think that's cool. Not every week's going to be an uber productive week. That's just how life goes. So the thing I just want to make sure is that as we're thinking about kind of the zoomed out trajectory, we're targeting the steps that make sense. So a couple sessions ago, or maybe last session, we were talking about what you wanted your theme for September to be. And I think that we were talking about essentially getting you to a polished up, not even polished up, but like a V1 theory of what a good service offering would be. So the way that I'm proposing this in the blueprint in the new version is that you can essentially go one of two routes. Either one, which is kind of the route where I am now with my agency from scratch project. Route number one is you simply know who you want to serve and you know some things you could do, but that's it. And that route can be kind of challenging because it's so untargeted that you could do anything. The world is your oyster of opportunities. And at least for me, I find that a little bit challenging. And so in those cases, my plan for what I think students will benefit the most from, and what I'll benefit the most from, is literally jumping on the phone with people in your target audience, kind of that podcast interview follow-up thing from the course right now, and essentially just talking to them about what are their pains in the business, what are the goals, what are the frustrations that they wish they could take care of. So that's kind of one facet. And then the other facet is that thing Nicholas Cole shared on his interview of find areas where they're failing in public. Something that has stuck out to me when you and I were talking via email about the course development help or course shadowing stuff, and you mentioned that you might be in a better position to help people create their first course. The challenge with that is that it kind of violates that multiply, don't create tenet. And that if someone's getting their first course done, I don't know what their budget's going to be for it. I don't know that the value's going to be there. And if they don't feel comfortable making the course yet, are they good content marketers? Because if they're not, and they don't have an audience yet, who's going to buy their course? No one. So that to me seems like maybe the risk is that service offering would appeal. If you imagine this dude who you can do this affiliate outreach for, he's balling. You could do this work for him all day, every day, forever, because he knows what he's doing and you are making him more money than he's paying. And you could do video editing work for this dude or for some professional YouTuber who YouTube's their main channel. If you can own their YouTube for them, that would be valuable because they're already doing it if you just found the opportunity. So with all of these things being said, do you think that, again, from that angle of selling an outcome, do you think that you have outcomes in mind that would pass the test of multiply, don't create, that are not too far out of your current skill set that people would find valuable that you'd want to help with? Do you have ideas for this, or do you think you would need to chat with people in your target audience to get ideas?
Well, I got an update to that question yesterday because part of my affiliate marketing manager rabbit hole led me to cold outreach email, and I got a really new understanding of the game, and I'm actually pretty excited about it, but it's going to take time. And the way that the cold outreach offer, they said, the people I was watching, they said short form content is one of the best offers right now. And the way that you have to present it in cold is like really quick. You have to do it in a few sentences. And so it's really just like, here's the result that I think I can get you. And I think the first result I'd have to go with is like the views that I've gotten my own channel. So I think in that way, like, I think I have a cold offer ready to go right now. I don't know about the warm offers exactly yet. Kind of like what I was thinking I would be doing is more like Instagram, like Twitter type stuff. But I think the cold offer is pretty easy to fulfill. It's just like, you need more traffic. You don't have to do anything. I would only target people who already are creating content. So it's like, you don't have to do anything. I'll send you my portfolio or a sample or whatever. That's it. Like, you don't have to do anything. You get more traffic. So that would be my version 1, I think. I don't think that would be as appealing to everybody, but maybe not. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so what I'm thinking of is how to augment the value of it. And I think that a juicy opportunity is the one that you've done before for people, but it will be commoditized work, but sometimes that's okay. Like, I'm kind of exploring this a little bit with my side agency project. Is like, okay, well, if I want to do really close to the money, really consultant-y stuff, that's cool. I can charge a lot per hour for it, but it's also a lot harder to delegate. If I can do commoditized work that we do a really great job with, and that we have like a nice hook that not all the other commoditized people have, then maybe that's actually perfect for my goals. I don't need or want to do anything else. So to me, like, you've seen some of the stuff I've been playing with. I've been playing today with chopping my podcast into short form video, turning those into Instagram quotable images, and then the text from that will be used on Twitter. Everyone tells me it's not going to work because it's just, you squint your eyes. Let me clarify. So I was on the phone with a mentor, and he was saying that basically, like, lean into your strengths. That's something we've all heard a million times. Pick your platform that you like best. But the problem is, I don't like any social media. You know this about me. I don't like short form. I certainly as fuck don't like Twitter. Like, I don't like any of that stuff. What I really like is thinking deeply about a linear flow, bringing order from the chaos. You and I talked about that before, and like creating the outline. Everything from there I don't really like. And that's why I like doing long form YouTube, is because I just make my outline and then I read it to the camera. And then from there, my team can take it. Like, the video editor can edit. I don't have to do much. But my experiment, nonetheless, is have a podcast episode, identify 5 to 7 shorts from it, call them out, edit the text, write a tweet, and then those things combined, let me see what it was. Those things combined can become the following. I've got it written down. I've been playing with the SOP today. Those things combined can become a YouTube short, a TikTok short, an Insta reel, a Facebook reel, a LinkedIn short, and a tweet, an Insta quotable image, Facebook post, LinkedIn post. So like, basically that one action of stripping it into the shorts could max out every platform for a whole week with 1 post a day from a 1 a week podcast. So the reason I'm saying all this is that if we're going about this as a consultant, and we're going about this from value-based pricing and stuff, the really important metric is you have to say, okay, well, that's fine that you're putting out all this bullshit onto social, but is it driving any conversions? Are people getting off platform? You have to do all that stuff. But if you go the commoditized route, where you don't say, yo, I'm going to do this stuff for you because it's going to change your business. And you just say, yo, and this is what Jesse Hanley from Bento did with his agency back in the day. I don't remember if I mentioned him to you, but I'll mention it anyway because someone might be listening to the recording. So I don't know if you know Jesse Hanley from Bento, but basically with his agency back in the day, before he started bentonow.com, which was an email marketing provider, his agency was essentially like outsourced writers. And he wasn't selling it as like a consultant. He wasn't selling it value-based pricing. His sales was basically like, yo, you want to write posts on your website, you need a writer. You can hire one of ours who is Eastern European for less than an American writer, and you can tick that box of content. So it was just a commoditized agency, but he was able to make nice margins. It was a very simple business model, and it worked really well for him. So this is like, I think you get what I'm getting at here, which is that if I am talking about what I'm talking about here, the quote outcome that I'm selling is you get to max out every single social media platform without doing anything new. And like, I got this idea from you. So you obviously know of this. You've shared a bunch of references, but when you're thinking of it in terms of a package service offering, that's the package. It's not, yo, I'll manage your social media. It's, yo, you keep doing your podcast and now all your social media is going to be maxed every week. Or, yo, and you don't have to say yo at the beginning, but I personally think, yo, you keep doing your podcast and now you get your YouTube shorts and your TikTok and Insta maxed out. Or whatever. Like if you don't want to do the non-video, you don't have to. But to me, what I've been noticing as I've been doing this experiment today is like the gap to bridge. I can share my SOP is not polished, but I can still share my screen. And you can tell me if you think it's dumb also. I had Maya give me some feedback because she's really big on Insta and she had some nice critical feedback to share. But here's the flow is that essentially you listen to the thing, you highlight the shorts. This would be what the content strategist / writer would do. They like highlight the shorts, they edit the transcript to be readable so that we can use that as the captions and fix the typos that otter.ai does. And then essentially write the excerpted quote for Twitter. So like if the long ass transcript was this, they would like write the tweet, they would be like this. And then that can get turned into the Instagram image, but basically these two things of the short form and this little bit is all you need to max out every single platform. So to me, the gap between having only the short form video that has these captions already edited and this one little tweet written and turned into this image, like it's such a small gap that produces such a higher amount of end value because it takes you from maxing out 3 video platforms only to maxing out like literally every social platform that ever has been in existence. But alas, this is quite complicated. But the reason I even talk about all this is that I really love that original thing you and I talked about, very, very first thing we talked about, where you jump on the phone and if there's someone who's not very comfortable with video, it doesn't matter because you just interview them and you turn that interview into the videos. And the secret to make this a productized service is you don't say, which people have said to me before, you don't say something like, I create 4 videos a month for you, because that's like very zoomed in on the task. We want to talk about like the result, which is like you get your entire video content calendar taken care of. And then you have to define what that means. And that's where you'd say it means 4 videos a month. Or like you get to, let's say I was doing the thing I've told you about before, where I turn those videos into newsletters and blog posts. So I would be saying like, you get to keep a warm relationship with your audience, keep them primed to buy. And the way that you get to do that is through weekly touch points. I don't know if this gives you any ideas, but I think when you're thinking about service offerings, like I think that, and I'm going to have in the blueprint like a scorecard thing, which I haven't fleshed out enough to be able to walk you through right now. But the loose ideas I have rolling around to rate different ideas would be like, number 1, how far out of your current skill set is it? How much growing do you have to do before you can actually do it for somebody? Obviously, less is better. That's 1. 2, how valuable and mission critical is that? Depending on what you're going after, it is more or less important. Another one to think about would be, is there an easy path? And this is, I think, probably the most important one for you, because you have some nice unfair advantages. Is there an easy path to leverage your existing connections whether it's people in your network, past clients, prospective clients who you've been talking to, friends, whatever. Like, is there an easy route you can see leveraging your existing traction and connections to book your first client doing this? And so that's what I would like us to think about, is like all these different services you've been thinking about as they pertain to short form video. Which one's the easiest one to just sell to someone you've already been talking to, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's that content multiplication, is people who are already making content, but I just know that they're struggling to even keep up with their daily posting because it sucks. If you're uploading a video or an image to Instagram to fulfill your content calendar, that sucks. If you don't have a system, if you don't have, so I know that people are feeling the pain. I don't know how, it might not be a 9 out of 10. It might be a 4 out of 10 on their pain scale for their business, but it's still there. I think, yeah. So I think just like, I don't know how to say it, but.
Well, can you think of the people on your radar?
Yeah.
Can you think of people who are failing in public at content multiplication? The good example would be like, if you go to the DYF YouTube today, to me, that's a big fail, right? Because the big risk of social media in my mind, and why I'm so hesitant to get started with these things, is like, once you start, you look like an asshole if you stop. You look like you've disappeared as a business. Whereas if you're never there in the first place, and so if you go to the DYF YouTube, I feel like my last YouTube video we put up was like May, June. So that to me is a really good example. And for the listeners, September 8th right now. So months ago, I'd have to check. But that to me is the example of failing in public, is someone who's like kind of trying to do Instagram, but they're sucking. Can you think of people failing in public in this content multiplication zone that are on your radar and you have a connection to?
Yeah, I think every creator would have I'm not saying like, yes, the people that I know. Yes.
Can we, without you calling them out by name, because that'd be douchey, can you pull them up right now, either in your mind or literally someone that you're thinking of, and find the specific? Because basically what I'm walking you through here is I want you to find the opportunity, which the opportunity is either them failing in public or them missing out on a low-hanging fruit that they simply don't know about, but that you know about because you're the expert. So the example of that would be like, if they're posting long-form YouTube videos every week that are really good, but they're not posting short form at all, maybe that to you is the low-hanging fruit opportunity. If they are posting shorts, but only like once every 2 weeks, that's the failing in public. So they're kind of, as we'd say in Thailand, same, but different.
I've been curious as to where your bunker is. I didn't actually ask.
My bunker?
Yeah, where you're coming to us from every week.
Oh, well, I'm in Estonia, but I lived in Thailand, and my girlfriend got us once these shirts that I was too embarrassed to ever wear, that on the front they say same, and on the back they say but different. It's just like a Thai phrase. But anyway.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking like, because I've actually kind of been doing this for myself, and theoretically I'm doing it for clients, even though I'm not actually, but I've been building this plan out and I've been testing it on my own channel. I'm like,
good.
Every week I'm like, okay, well, how do I make this into a tweet? It seems like video doesn't do that great on Twitter. Like, interesting. I think I'd have to recalibrate into more text heavy. And then on Instagram, I'm just getting started and I'm like, man, I don't understand this at all. Like, why don't my thumbnails look good on Instagram? Like they look. So I think each platform has like a fluency. And as you get into this role, like as you build your agency, you've got your version 1 together, like version 2, you're going to start figuring out these things like, oh, okay, it looks like we have to tweak the thumbnail size so that it fits on Instagram, or we have to have a separate thumbnail size, or like everybody who crushes on Instagram, they're doing longer videos. They do like 5-minute videos. So I think maybe we need to find so I think that's going to be the ultimate value, is like, I'm building, I'm discovering these things as I publish on my own channel, and I'm finding the things that are like completely worthless, and then the things that seem to get disproportionate returns. So I think every creator could have a weak spot because I'm building my mental library of like, okay, this person is doing great with long form, but like, and I mean, as I say that, one of the people I want to target with this Santa Claus thing, I don't know him, but I see him doing really well. Ugh, man, I think this is the pain point too. He's doing great on like, it's a 7 out of 10, but like he's doing great with short form, but he doesn't do long form. And I'm like, oh man, such an opportunity. And clearly he's got a good system for short form, but I'm guessing he's overwhelmed by long form. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand that. Or I'm going to have to wait until I have, this huge team like Alex Hermosi or whatever. But I kind of think each person would have a different pain point, but.
And I think for where you're at, you can either go wide and shallow or narrow and deep. As a general rule of thumb, it's usually best to go narrow and deep. So the example of me saying I'll post some stuff on all the platforms, like this is an example of wide and shallow, and it has so many opportunities to fall down. And you just listed a bunch of them, right? Like if I start doing this and because I'm trying to post everywhere, I just miss out on the knowledge of like the norms within Instagram. No one's going to get good results on Instagram. Like Maya, a few minutes ago, I was talking to her and she was like, your reels need to be 15 seconds or less because I was going to watch a 1 minute video. I'm like, fuck, I've been struggling so much to get these bloody things down to 1 minute. How the fuck could I ever do 15 seconds? But that's a good example of like how being wide and shallow prevents someone from getting actual expert knowledge. So when we're looking for opportunities, maybe the easiest place to start is like, if I were to say, Brad, what's the narrow and deep thing that if you were to say, I'm going to have this be my specialty to start, where I'm going to look for the opportunities, what is it? To me, it seems like from what I've been hearing from you, it's probably more likely going to be taking something longer and making it shorter versus the shorter to long, because you can't turn a short thing long. You would have to talk to them and interview them and stuff. But maybe that is your thing. I don't know. I mean, of all these opportunities you've spotted for the various people, if you wanted to specialize in one and do that same one for lots of clients, what would it be?
Yeah, you're right. I think specifically it's the point where I bring their long form video into Descript and then I go through it, watch it, and I highlight all of the things that I think are interesting and turn them into shorts. Okay. Everything else is commoditized, whatever, but like that part, because I do watch a lot of short form content, so I kind of know like what sounds punchy, like what sounds interesting. I'm not 100% right. Obviously, that will get better over time. Of course, I'm not. I'm not even like whatever. Eventually, I'll recognize patterns in the things that I think will perform well. But at least right now, I recognize patterns in what sounds good. Like you can look at a website and probably know because you did CRO, like whether it's actually converting. But like before you could do CRO, you could look at a website and know if it looked nice.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like different phases of mastery or whatever, different context levels. Yeah. So I love this, by the way. So the next question, to zoom this in a little bit more, because what I'm doing is I'm taking this is a helpful exercise for me honing the next version of the course. I'm trying to take these little facts that and tie a nice bow on them into an outcome. So the fact we know, turning long form into shorts, that's going to be the root. And now we need to package it.
Okay.
So the first question I have is, suppose you did this, right? Suppose someone posts a video a week and you can turn each video into 7 shorts pretty comfortably. What do you reckon? Well, I'll ask you first. What short form video platform do you know the most about?
YouTube Shorts.
What? And then second most about?
TikTok.
Okay. So as a thought experiment, what do you reckon the ideal posting frequency of YouTube Shorts would be for somebody?
1 to 5 a day.
And then what about TikTok?
Same, 1 to 5 a day.
And is there a certain type of video that you reckon would work better on TikTok versus Shorts or vice versa? Or could you post the same 1 to 5 a day on both platforms and be fine?
But where I'm at now is you can post the same I don't know. There is a layer beyond where I'm at now, but I'm not really.
For now.
Yeah, for now,
So
you can post the same.
So to me, the nice bow-tied service offering is like, again, the domain name that I don't remember if I bought yet or not was going to be something along the lines of like contentcalendar.com. So to me, like the outcome that sounds nice is not, I'm going to make you 1 to 5 shorts a day. It's, I'm going to max out your short-form content calendar based on what you're already doing. And you'd have to ask yourself, what is your quote requirement to be able to do that? Is it that they're posting a video a week? Because I mean, if it's a 5-minute video, it might be unrealistic to actually get 7 good shorts from it. I don't know. You'd have to ask yourself that. But, you know, even if you couldn't, even if they post 1 a week and you can only actually get 3 shorts or 4 shorts or something, like that's still consistent posting is better than 0. And you could always have a layered on service where you could do that interview style thing with them to get specifically shot strategic shorts as like an extra layer beyond the parsing, but they'd be different sales hooks. But yeah, so if you were to package, okay, so next step of this thought experiment is, can you think of somebody in your sphere of awareness, ideally you have a mutual connection with, who's doing well with long form, but not doing well with short form? If you can't, maybe your homework is to dig, because I bet you could find someone.
Yeah, I don't know that one yet.
Okay.
Most of the people I'm thinking of have a presence in short form. That's pretty good.
Okay. Then yeah, maybe that's something to write down that you need to validate, is like, how common is it that somebody who's doing short form video is, or sorry, doing what we would call long form video, which is like regular ass 5 to 10 minute YouTube videos, but not short form, because that's going to help you validate if there's an opportunity here. Because if there's not, you have 2 routes you can go. I see it branching into 2 potentials based on what we've been talking about. Branch 1 is repurposing podcast, because there are hella podcasters who post their video. That's one branch. And then the other branch is what you've done before, which is like people who don't do video at all. And you could help them with your interview style, create the videos and create the shorts. And someone who comes to mind for that as a good example is like Brennan. Brennan is not good with video. He's a self-proclaimed not good at video person. And that's why he prefers text. And whenever he does do video, he usually needs to like read off a teleprompter or have a producer to rein him in and like cut him off and be like, yo, you're rambling. Let's get you on point. Brennan would be the exact kind of person who is an example of someone who's both successful and would benefit from that whole service offering of like interviewing them, creating the stuff. But the counterpoint, the risk here is like my mentor's advice, lean into what you're good at. The thing to validate is, would somebody who's really successful with text actually give a fuck about creating a video counterpart? In my case, I like video better, but the DYF email list is quite accustomed to text. And I think blogging is good. Newsletters are good. So in my case, I do feel a compulsion to turn my video stuff into text. I don't know if it happens in reverse though. I don't know if the text folks care about video. So you get what I'm saying is like, we have these ideas and then we need to validate them. And sometimes you can validate things by just looking for data in the world, such as, are there people doing long form video who suck at short form? That's like one thing of data you can find in the world. Are the people who post podcasts as video, but don't post shorts? That's a piece of data in the world. But the one of like, do people who post text give a fuck about turning it into the video? That one you can't really find in the world. You have to talk to them. So that could be an interesting Santa Claus technique kind of thing, but it would be more convoluted because you have to get buy-in from them, right? You can't turn their blog post into a video without actually getting them on video and recording them, in which case this struck me as an issue. You have to, if they're a text person, they're not going to know anything about audio production. They're not going to know anything about video production. They probably don't have a good video setup. So now you suddenly have to coach them on getting a good video setup, buying all the right equipment, all that stuff. So all of this being said, it does seem like the easier routes available here would either be the video podcasters who want to get into shorts, or who are trying to do shorts and sucking. Like, again, if you find someone sucking, that's probably always the easiest. So let's suppose you do your research and you find people who are posting 5 to 10 minute long YouTube videos, and they are either not posting short form at all, or even better, they are posting short form, but they're not doing a great job of it. Either they're not super consistent, they're not posting enough, they're not repurposing. Like, we just want that sliced opportunity. So a good example that strikes me is like maybe they're posting short form, but the only ones they're posting are the ones that they specifically shot, but they're not actually repurposing their longer videos. Maybe that sticks out as an opportunity. So all of this being said, let's suppose, so I think number one, I think we can agree this is a good homework assignment to write down, is like, see if you can find that. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And I gotta write it down here. Find someone good at long form, failing at short form. Suppose you do find one. What's the buttoned up outcome you're giving them if they hire you to chop their long form and short form? Is it just, I'm going to max out your short form video without you having to do anything? To me, that's the easy sell. Imagine if you could just do what you're already doing for your long form, but that you would have maxed out short form video channels without lifting a fucking finger. Like, that's the sell. And so we talked last week about like, lay out a service offering and then find someone to do it for. So we've just laid it out. I don't think it has to be a formalized proposal if it's with somebody you have a connection with, or if you do a pro bono free thing. You already are good at the Loom and Zoom. So to me, if you find somebody who's failing publicly, you shoot them a Loom video where you're like, you take the Nicholas Cole approach, which is essentially already the Brad approach anyway. You guys both do the same thing naturally, it seems. So you shoot a little Loom video where you say, hey, I love your content, learned so much, blah, 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 blah. But I noticed a big opportunity in your short form game. What I do all day, every day is I like turn long form into short form. I've got some great ideas. Here's a specific example. This video here, I love it. It taught me so much. But this snippet from blank, blank, blank to blank seconds, we could chop that and chop this one here. And that would be a perfect short form video. I'd love to do this for you if you're interested, just like for free, because I get so much out of your shit. Do you want me to do it for free? Like, easy. I mean, it's not gonna be easy in real life, right? But easy to conceptualize, certainly. Much easier than that other route where it's like, okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have you buy a camera. I'm going to show you how to set it up. We get a mic in the mail. Like it's a lot more. So yeah. What do you think the sell is? How would you want to sell this thing?
Well, first off, we're at 38 minutes.
Yeah, we're good. We'll transition out on this one.
I have two. One idea I'm realizing or thinking about is that it seems I kind of have to have a different version of an offer for each approach. As soon as you described that, I thought of somebody who got close to hiring me on Upwork. He's very successful long form. I see him trying to do short forms, and I can tell he's trying to do it himself. He hasn't. I don't know why, but he's trying to do it himself, and they're not that good, and he's not doing it that much. And he puts out, he's got millions of views on YouTube. He's got some huge interviews with huge stars. He's interviewed Hermosi. Like everybody you can think of. Anyways, but he'd be perfect. I'll reach out to him. That would be like the lowest hanging, and I can do exactly what you just said. Like, hey, checking in. It's been a few months. I see you're still putting out great long form content. But what I've ended up doing with my Upwork business is short form, whatever. And then maybe do the Santa Claus package specifically with him. I don't know, in general, people are kind of saying maybe you don't send free samples without any response, but I already have him in my phone. Like he'll at least see it,
Yeah. And I was going to say, I think in terms of efficiency, it probably does make sense to not do it without that first buy-in. But right now, you don't need efficiency. Right now, you need like practice and broad experience. And what I love about short form is that you don't really need a lot of assets from the client. You could just like rip their video from YouTube, drop it into Script, pull it out, put it in CapCut and do your thing. Like that's like a 2-hour max kind of process. So I would love to see you just do it. And what's kind of sick too? I don't know ethically if you can do it, so you'd have to think about it. But like you could probably put it in your portfolio. Like, I don't, because you did make it. You didn't get hired to make it. So I don't know. I'd have to think about how I'd feel about
even
that,
wilder than that, I could actually even post the clip to my social media. That's actually accepted in YouTube Shorts and TikTok. to make your own clips of stuff that exists on those platforms. It's actually encouraged by some podcasters who've become huge by letting people do that. Remix our content.
So I've been thinking lately in a thread like this, I think we just came up with a collective dope idea, which is that I've been thinking lately about how, I'm not into social media. I say a million times, but the one thing I think is cool about social media is that it's a very it's a great way to promote others without it being like high consequence. Like, for example, if I wanted to promote someone to the W freelancing email list, like there's a lot to think about because I don't want to spam the list. Like I don't want to promote too many times, too many things. I got to keep the value distribution. But with social media, who gives a fuck? You can like just post whatever you want. And so what's so cool about that is like, if I post something on social media, we're like, I just listened to Brad's podcast about video editing. It was so sick. And that's my whole post. I'm only promoting Brad. Brad sees that and Brad's like, oh, this Zach guy's a nice boy. And so I like win a little bit of brownie points with you. And how cool would it be as a Santa Claus strat that this is, I'm stealing this from Brian Harris anyway, is that you can publicly praise them on social media and like tag them and say, I just watched at tagged person's video on blank and it was awesome. I just pulled my favorite bits into this short and like post the short. Like that could be a kind of fun way to like do like a bunch of different points at once, because then you publicly promote them, you publicly demonstrate your ability to create shorts, you send them traffic, and then you could like DM them or email them to give them the clip and send them some others as bonus. Like, I don't know. I could see so many fun things happening here.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how about these homework assignments? Number 1, I would like you to find 3 people who are good at long form, failing at short form in some way. Not necessarily outright failing, but just like a missed opportunity. And ideally, just like who you just said. So ideally not someone where they're not posting at all on short form, but ideally someone who is posting, just not doing a very good job. See if you can find 3. And then tell me if you think this is unreasonable. I would also like to see you create 3 shorts, 1 for each of these people. And you can either straight up email them, or you could do the public praise thing. And you could even build on it. Like, I think of you often with how well you did with that tweet that was your like viral tweet where you said, who are your favorite authors? Like, you could find a way to combine these 2 strategies where you say like, people in the comments, tell me who else I should create shorts for. Some of my ideas are at tag. So then you're like giving 1 bump praise to one person, but then you're also tagging others who might be like, ooh, yeah, I'd love for you to do a free one for me or whatever. Like, I bet you could find a dope strat here.
That's really cool.
So do you think that my homework assignment I gave you is reasonable? Find 3 people failing, create 3, create 1 short for each?
Yeah. I already know one. I've
Nice.
been wanting to reach out to him since we started, and this is the way.
So I'd say then beyond obligatory client fulfillment work and above any Upwork prospecting, depending on what your financial situation lead flow is like, I would say that I would count this your top priority. Like, from where I'm sitting, if you can do this week and you cannot neglect your clients, this would be a winning week. Because I bet if you do this enough, it will generate clients.
Yeah. And it's covering my downside in so many ways. It's building my portfolio. It's building my experience, building my skills, connecting me with people. It's pretty awesome. A lot of leverage there.
Yeah. And you could do it for your podcast guests too. Like, you create the shorts from your podcast episode with them. I think you already do that.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of doing this to people who, aren't exactly qualified to be clients, but.
And the one thing I would asterisk with this is that if you're going to do this publicly on social media, I think you probably already have it, but if you're going to do it on, like, say, Twitter, make sure your Twitter about, like, if they clicked your Twitter profile to see who is this person, make sure your about line says like, let's think of a succinct way to do it. Like, let me see the exact word you said. I think you said multiplication. I'm going to give you a nice pithy one-liner. So I multiply the content output of creators by turning their long form into short form without them having to lift a finger. Something shorter than that. But like, if that's like your byline on Twitter, then if someone clicks your profile, they know exactly what you do. And if they send you a message where they're like, dude, this was sick, then it's like a nice door open. Is that the case right now? Like if I go to your Twitter profile, is it really clear you're a video dude?
Yeah, but I've been testing lots of different things and
Okay.
nobody's gotten none of them have produced any bites, so
okay.
I'm happy to try a new angle.
Cool. Well, yeah, do you resonate more with doing a social thing or doing an email or doing both? I guess you could do both, but what are you leaning towards?
I believe this cold email thing is, I'm going to do it. I don't know. I think maybe it might not fit into your framework and it's going to take a while to set up. So I like both. But for now, I think DMs on Twitter and maybe Instagram would be the best for this. And the guy that I have his phone number, I'll text him. So he has to see it.
So why not cold email someone with like, why would it take a lot of time to set up if you just have to grab someone's email address and send them an email?
Oh, I mean cold email at scale.
Oh, okay.
Like building a list of all the YouTubers that have long form content but not short form content, and building like an outreach and outbound campaign with automation and stuff.
But presumably, okay. What if the V1 is that you find a couple YouTubers, grab their email address from their YouTube and just like literally send them an email with the short?
Oh, that would be way smarter.
And with that, we end today's episode. So maybe just do that. Maybe like, I don't care if it's social or email. Usually email's nice because you can get directly in touch with people. But yeah,
you're right.
It sounds like we're clear. So I'll be keen to see how it goes, what you play with.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Cool. All right, well then, let me just end the thing. So, listener, hello, it's the end of the episode. Welcome to the end. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a good review, whatever's relevant for the platform you're on. It helps us create better content for you, which helps you. And as a reminder, if you enjoyed this and you want coaching just like this, you can get it in the Accelerator community, which you can learn more about at dyf.link/DYFA. If you want to check out Brad, you can find him on all the various places on the internet at the Nomad Brad. So, Brad, I'll hit end and we won't leave yet. And listener, thank you and goodbye.